I'm a DIY artist. That means do it yourself. You are doing everything yourself. That is a recipe for disaster.
What are you talking about?
It should be LIY. Lead it yourself.
Nah!
DIY.
Okay, DIYers. So, someone tagged me on Instagram in a very interesting post by Damian Keys. Somebody was like, I think your boy throwing shots. And I'm like, Damian Keys ain't throwing no damn shots. And I don't know. I highly doubt it. I think that the term DIY artist has been around way before we decided DIY. But I think there's some common misconceptions about being a DIY. I think a lot of people bundle it up in the wrong category of up-and-comer or somebody who is frantic and I don't know what to do next. That's not a DIYer. We have a whole website and mission statement that lays it out.
The phrase DIY. I've heard it millions of times from artists.
Especially if you sitting up in my videos.
I'm a DIY artist. The problem with that is
Let me bang on him real quick.
DIY.
I'm just playing.
that means do it yourself. You are doing everything yourself. That is a recipe for disaster because your anxiety levels are now...
Hold on. There's a lot of assumptions being made. First of all, who said I got anxiety? I do, but that don't mean it. What we talking about?
Everything yourself. It should be LIY. Lead it yourself. You are in control. You are responsible, but you don't have to do everything.
I don't want to make no assumptions about Damian Keys, but he kind of sound like somebody ain't never been broke before. And maybe he has. You don't have a choice. When you a rapper and your grandmama telling you why you going to hell because you're rapping and your grandpa say you should be having your ass in them books and your mama looking at you crazy like, oh my God, you want to be a rapper. Your pop looking at you like, man, you better get your ass up and get a job. And then when you try to reach out to people and you're still in your very early stages, those resources to lead it yourself don't present themselves. You have to go create those opportunities.
You do have to do everything because you literally have no one else around you. You have no infrastructure, no ecosystem.
Well, in order to understand an ecosystem and an infrastructure, you must first begin the building process. How would you know the function of the electricity if you never consumed it? So, as a DIY artist, I think there's a misconception that it means that you do it yourself and it's F everybody else. That is not what a DIY artist is, at least within this specific tribe of DIYers.
DIY.
DIYers means I will get it started myself. When I start to get cash flow, I will delegate it out. We're a lot more advanced. I think the DIY artists of the 90s and the early 2000s, maybe they didn't necessarily have this type of mindset. But when you're talking to us, you got to talk to us. And I'm not just talking to Damian, I'm just talking about in general. When you're talking to a DIYer, a real DIYer, we know our shit. We know our business. We stand confidently on that. And I think it's important to separate those who may think they're DIYers, but they DI liars.
Then you need to go back to the other rules. You need to have more priorities. You need to have more organization. You need to set your targets to be more achievable. It shouldn't be DIY. It should be LIY. You are the leader. Lead it yourself.
Nah! With all due respect, Damian Keys, I think you give out a lot of great things. Nah. Unfortunately, it is not a straight path for every single one of us. Instead of having me explain this, I'm going to have Curtis King explain what a DIYer is. Wait, what? I think the first thing that's important is to establish what a DIYer is for those who don't know, at least within my tribe.
Please.
Because I think some people think DIYer means F everybody, I just do it myself. And that's not what it is
That's
at all.
not what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's I asked you for help. You didn't have the time. I asked you for help. I didn't have the budget. I asked you for help. You told me that I suck. Okay, I have to self-start this and figure this out. And I'm not afraid to teach myself how to graphic design. I'm not afraid to teach myself how to video edit. I'm not afraid to teach myself these things. Even if I'm not the best at it, at least I get the ball rolling. And if I can get some cash flow, I can delegate it and I can work with some amazing people along the way, which I have. So when we say DIY, it is we're not afraid to get started by doing it ourselves. A very important component in that is collaboration. But the beauty of independence is the freedom of who you collaborate with. This nigga talking.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell
Shout out to Curtis one time. When I hear someone talking this way about DIYers, there's a part of me that's like, "Ugh," but you don't know about the DIYers I represent. But I also understand that he makes a valid point in that there are folks out here who deem themselves as do-it-yourselfers, and they have not come to grips with, hey, you suck at everything. And maybe people don't want to work with you because there's issues with your personality. Maybe you're difficult to work with. And maybe that's why you have to DIY. And there are people out here who are they're like a chicken with a head cut off, and they're trying to figure out the next move and what they should do. And, oh, I think I want to move over here. I think I want 1 million streams because my friend had 1 million streams on SoundCloud. Oh, that's not popping. Okay, let's go over here and let's try to get 1 million streams. There are people who obviously move like that. Those are not part of this DIY culture. I believe that over the next few months, we're going to see 2 things happen. Mark my words. 1, we're going to see an increase in people discouraging you from being a DIYer. Second thing, pay attention to the people who have never spoke about independence ever before, who don't appear independent themselves, speak very predatory or be predatory on independent artists. They're coming. I don't say that as trying to be mysterious or ominous, and I don't put Damian in that. I think he's giving great advice for somebody who's walking around and just doesn't know any better. They need structure. They need a system. We need to grow up. We need to actually do business. We're not playing business as artists. But people are going to become very predatory upon independent artists because the more stories come out of independent artists banking out and making money, you're going to get people pulling up on you. You're going to get opportunities that you've never seen before. I'm talking to artists right now who got major rappers that shall remain unnamed, offering them mixtape opportunities, offering them opportunities to get on a feature, and they're just literally recycling the same verse over and over again. But because they're independent and they're like, man, somebody finally sees me, they do it. They pay I'm gonna give you a discount because you're independent. People are going to become very predatory upon independent artists. Remember, I said this, timestamp this video. What you can do, though, is ensure that you have your education about you. Ensure that you do your research on not just how to be a better independent artist, but how to be a better small business. This is where me and Damian Keys see absolutely eye to eye on. You cannot do every aspect of this yourself and scale it. You only have 24 hours in a day and whatever energy that you can exert within that day. However, when nobody wants to work with you, for whatever reasons there may be, you have a choice to make. Do I sit here and cry about it? Whine about it, a lot of people do on Twitter, or do I do something about it? Do I at least get it started? Hey, I'm not the best graphic designer, but shit, I got Canva and I got enough for 2 months. Let's shake some shit. I really suck at video editing, but I think I can put together a 15-second clip. Do it. Get it started. The funniest thing happens when you get to moving, they perceive it as a movement, they get to moving and want to be a part of it. But if you're sitting still, it's really hard to have a movement. And DIYers, you relate to this message because you are in movement. I promise y'all, the more you handle the business, the easier. Sometimes it just takes one piece of content. I got my LLC because of an Alex Hormozy video. The process felt so complicated based upon how it was being explained to me. And I wasn't around a lot of people that understood what an LLC could do, what was the benefits, how can you do that the right way. It was one Alex Hormozy video that I watched on YouTube, and that shit got me into action. He made it really easy. Now Curtis King DIYers is its own LLC. Hello.
DIY.
And I hope that we're part of the generation that demystifies a lot of this shit that shouldn't even be complicated to begin with, but people get complicated when they're looking to sell you some shit. You ever notice that? People make it more complicated when they want to sell you on something. Let me remove that stress from you so that I can get this payment for doing some easy work. I'll tell you what also helped. As much as folks talk shit about AI, I use ChatGPT to help me understand terminology that wasn't to my understanding. I said, explain this paragraph as if I'm a 5th grader. Boom. If you focus on creating experiences, what's up, Touch Tone, that people cannot stream, your life is going to be so much easier. You have to decide if your passion is worth $800 a year. How much is the Netflix every year? I can just tell you this. What is the benefit for you? Off top, funding, working capital, flat out. The capital that I'm getting ready to get approved for is going to allow me to continue the build of this downstairs stage. The tax relief. My tax lady has been asking me for years to go get my LLC because of all the benefits that she could bring. Those are my thoughts, though, DIYers. Let me know what you think. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't get greedy. Peace.